Hello and welcome. This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more Motorsport Manager. And the season is ended, and we're in the preseason. We're building a new chassis currently, and we also negotiated with a couple of drivers. The first driver we offered a contract to was a little bit insulted with how much money we were offering them. So I upped the amount that they would be paid, which is a bigger contract than Mustafa would be getting. I was trying to keep it close, but I'm now offering them more money. I also have another contract to a young driver that has some good potential that we might be using as a reserve driver, but I'd also like to pick up Boris because he could be a nice replacement for Rogers. Rogers and Young's contract are expired, so we could easily replace them without having any consequence. In any case, let's go ahead and continue here. Okay, so contract proposal, she accepted, it looks like. Yeah, okay, so I figured that she would. So let's take a look at her contract here. So she was actually, she was neutral about how much money she was offered, which is good. So I'm paying her exactly how much she expects. And she's delighted with the status and how long her contract is. I actually probably could have underpaid her because she's happy about other things. It would have outweighed how much I'm paying her. But I'm definitely going to pick her up because I think that she'd be a nice addition as a reserve driver at the very least, and more than likely be a reserve driver. And if we don't get anybody better than Rogers, we'll just run Rogers again. We'll slot Shinki in the reserve slot. We'll have her run practice sessions, which will get her experience. And once she is up high enough that she's beyond Rogers' ability, we could put her in as our secondary driver. Or we just keep her as the reserve. I offered a reserve contract, which she has no problem with. So, as a matter of fact, she's more than happy to be a reserve driver. All right, so let's sign her in. And we will be replacing Young there. That would be very strange if I replaced Mustafa. And let's go ahead and do that. So, she doesn't have a signing bonus, so it's not going to cost us anything. All right, so we have a new reserve driver, and I'm very happy with that. We're going to have her for quite a long time. So I expect her, at the very least, to be a reserve driver for the foreseeable future. She's nice and young, so hopefully we can build her up and get her to be a pretty darn good driver. All right, well, now that we're done with that, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other things here. So, yeah, we got rid of him. Sorry. Contract signed. Nice to have you aboard. Okay, we have a news report about her. Yep, okay. And, okay. I'm feeling much better about being here in the team now, so I'm not going to be listening to any offers anymore. All right, so if anybody else offered her contract, she's not going to take it. That's good news. Let's go ahead and continue some more here, and let's see if we can... Okay, Alex Rogers' contract has run out. Okay. Octon Racing is snapped up. Okay. Another driver snapped up. Time to say goodbye. My contract has come to an end. So we do not have him here anymore. As a matter of fact, it's just given us a generic driver with no real skill at the moment, until we pick up another driver, I'm assuming. Let's take a look at the other drivers here, though. So I'm going to compare it from Mustafa, because whoever we pick is going to be the secondary driver here. So Elliot Marsh was a potential one, but I am concerned with some of his lower abilities here. So right now we're talking to Boris here. We could also pick up a nice veteran driver. I find it interesting that Rogers is not listed here. Huh. Should he not be in the unemployed? Oh, yeah, no, there he is. So, would be an upgrade if we just wanted to have a nice veteran driver. And Porter wouldn't be a bad driver. 23. Rock solid. First lap hero. Wow, that's a pretty big bonus. And overall, not a bad driver. Smoothness is like, I think, the biggest thing there, but it's not so bad that I would hate this driver. As a matter of fact, I like him quite a lot. Let's see what he would want. So he's interested. Now, he doesn't have a lot of potential, but where his potential falls off is not bad. You will be equal status. You're asking for a lot of money, though, I'm thinking. Because I feel like Boris, we could have gotten away not paying as much. This guy, the minimum for him is 200,000, which is starting to make me think he's probably looking for like 400,000. So, you know what? I'm not interested. It's too much money for me. Let's go and take a look at... Let's see what Alice Wood would want. Because that would be an upgrade over Rogers. Oh, that's right. This driver here has a lot of negatives. That the main positive is that I'd be able to hire her and she'd practically pay for herself. And she also has fantastic feedback. But if we're going to be using a reserve driver, that actually probably doesn't matter as much. If we use a reserve driver in practice. I mean, the main thing this would help with is dialing in the car. We'll approach the driver, but I just want to see where she's at. So she's looking for about 50,000 less. And she's not too interested in her role. Yeah, alright, you know what? I'd rather just have Rogers back if it comes to that. I feel like maybe Boris, I screwed up the contract there. Maybe not offering him enough. Well, we also have this guy, who's very young. Timesheet hero. Okay, so smoothness is down. Alright, and he has a temporary thing that will wear off. Wow, he's hugely marketable. Alright, well, let's take a look at him. So, approach him. I just want to know where he's at as far as price. So he'd prefer a signing on fee. Bonus size isn't very important. My status isn't too important. This guy would be a good pickup. But might be a little too rich for me. I think I'm going to wait and just see what the one guy says on the contract. And we'll go from there. I'm just a little concerned that maybe he's going to say no. All right, well, let's go ahead and advance here. All right. He did accept. We also have a scouting report here, which is good because we're getting more young drivers. But I think Boris is what we're going to take because he did accept the contract. Contractor is looking good. Let's get get that thing signed. So let's go. I just want to look at him one more time though to make sure we're getting the right thing. So he has a little bit of focus problems, but otherwise he's not a bad driver. And he's got a lot of potential for the future and could possibly be a better driver for us than Mustafa here. I mean, right now he's going to be a better driver than Mustafa. Let's just compare the drivers really quick. So the main thing that I'm worried about is the flat spotter. I mean, that's... Oh, no, wait, that's the wrong person. Boris, where are you? Yeah, here. Okay. So the main thing I'm worried about is this crash happy. But if we take a look at his focus, it's not too far off of Mustafa, and it'd actually be equal if it wasn't for this this crash happy thing that he has. Feedback is low, but it's equal to our reserve driver, so we could have the reserve driver do the practice so that she builds up some things. Fitness is good and better. Adaptability is better than Mustafa's. Consistency is lower, as is overtaking only slightly. And then he's got huge advantages in braking and cornering. Yeah, I think we got to take him. He does have downsides, but I think it's worth the cost. And he actually might be our new #1 driver. So let's go ahead and pick up his contract. And it looks like that amount of money is exactly what he was looking for. So we'll sign. And we'll be replacing this person. And we didn't have any signing bonuses, so we're good there. So we've got our 2 drivers. And there is a way to swap the drivers. Who's your first driver and who's your second driver. And I don't remember where that is. But we can figure it out. So we've got our drivers. And that should really propel us into the top 5. And we're in 4th amongst our competition right now. Although some of them might not have finished. Okay. Contract offers accepted. Contract signed. And we pick up this guy. And again, a nice young driver for us. So we've got a lot of potential now. Now, we're going to have, I'm hoping, no morale issues with Mustafa. Let's go ahead and take a look at the morale of all of our drivers. So we've got this guy, pretty darn happy with things. Mustafa, pretty darn happy with things. She's got low morale, but I don't know if we should really worry about it. I wonder why Boris is so happy. He's training young drivers. Okay. Huh. Alright, well, again, I don't know. Oh, yeah, this. But I don't understand why his is off the charts and hers... Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Okay. And as a matter of fact, one thing I didn't take a look at with him was his marketability. So he's at 40%. She's at 61%. Mustafa's at 55%. But it's currently being artificially inflated. All right, well, I'm pretty happy with the drivers we've got for the next couple seasons, actually. All right. Let's continue here. Okay, what do we got here? All right. I just got off the phone with our fuel supplier for next season. They say they've made a breakthrough in fuel efficiency with a brand new super high octane fuel. They're happy to let us use it for the car this season, but naturally they're asking for more money. We can't affect it. I don't think we can afford that. So I'm going to say no. We can't afford that. Sorry. But it's nice that that event happened. But I have to save up for the rest of the car. All right, so let's continue. Have a lot of time progressing here. All right. I just want to take a look at some of these. All right, so people are picking up mechanics and what have you. Car improvability. All right. Me and a few of the engineers are worried about the car's improvability over the course of the season. We've had a few preliminary talks with the engine supplier, and they think they could help us out for a price, of course. No, I'm sorry. Again, I can't just start... I can't drop $3 million on these things. Sorry. But again, it's nice that these things pop up. Give us an opportunity. Okay, we've got some scouting done. Let's just take a look at it. I mean, I don't know if it really matters at this point. But it's possible that we would be finding out about people that would have been better pickups than what we had. Okay. Yeah, this driver wouldn't have been necessarily bad. Outside of one negative permanent trait. Okay. And scouting-wise, does our scout have a bunch more in the queue? Because I would very much like her to continue. One thing I would like her to scout more. Well, we've got this group. Scout. I might as well scout even people that are already employed. Scout. Alright. And then we'll go to this group as well. And look for people that are unemployed. Or in our series. So, these couple drivers. I might miss a couple here and there, but I would like a little bit of an idea of what the competition has. Okay, scout driver. Scout driver. And when I saw Garuda Racing, I almost hit scout driver, and then I forgot they got promoted. Alright, so we've scouted all these drivers. Okay, I think that's pretty good for now. Did I do that for this group, though? European Racing Series. Looks like I've mostly scouted everybody in this group regardless. Yeah, alright. Now, one thing I did want to take a look at was the other racing team that just got added in. So, that team was this team here. So their car and drivers are pretty good. Headquarters. Alright, so they are third for both cars and drivers. And headquarters, they're in the middle. Staff, which is one thing that we definitely need to improve, but I haven't really gotten around to. They're again in the middle. And then sponsors, they're close to the top. Which is, not too unexpected. They were in a previously higher series than we are. I think the big thing with us, as far as the staff goes, is our mechanics are not bad necessarily. I mean, they'll eventually, through their potential, get much better. But our designer is the big area we need to improve. And he's going to be around for the next season. And I may be picking up another lead designer here in the future. Let's compare him just real quick to guys that are unemployed. And if we don't have much info, see, that's the thing. I don't know if you really have to scout these kind of guys. But like, for instance, for whatever reason, I favored this guy. We could potentially in the future pick up somebody like Ruby Smith here. That could be a lot better than him. I mean, he's better than him right now, but also better than him in the future. So, yeah, I mean, that's something I might think about. But I'm not prepared to eat his break clause right now, which was worse, I think, when he had longer time on that contract. Well, in any case, let's go ahead and continue here. We've looked around. All right, something's going on here that we had to... Okay. New driver for Firebird MRT, which I believe is in our series, so... Okay, that will be relevant. And then, opened up a new test track at their China base headquarters. Okay, well, that's nice to know, I guess. All right, there was a bunch of other mail that just happened there. So another driver being added on. We have a scout report. Okay. Ooh, wow. Okay. And then another driver being added on here. But I don't know if is Dragon Race team in our... Yeah, they are. I thought they were. All right. In any case, let's continue here. Do we get to the next thing? All right, what do we got? We have another dilemma, and it looks like it's dealing with the brakes. So I wonder if these are like, you know, automatic things. Okay, so another driver picked up. Okay, brake supplier. So again, same kind of thing. Pay us money, we'll improve a certain stat. No. Sorry. There's no downside of not taking it. So it's just one of those things where if you had a little bit of extra cash, you could improve the parts beyond what was available. All right, so we've done that. Let's go ahead and continue. Okay. We have a new thing for our car. So another driver picked up here, and then let's do this. So we can change our colors around, which not sure I want to really do. I like the colors that we have, although I could make it a darker black here. Okay. And we don't have a tertiary color. And I see, I'm happy with that. Then trim color. We'll also make the dark black. So we darkened it up a little bit. That might not make the... Oh, the sponsors are just fine readable wise. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And then white on the black, that works fine too. Yeah, okay, so we darken up the black a little bit. As a matter of fact, it seems like... Oh, as a matter of fact, we can change... Our colors are pretty much set. It's just different hues, it looks like. But we can change also our overall design of the paint job here. Let's find one. 5 was fine. I kind of like 9. 1 is fine for me too. 2, 3, 4. And we have 5, which was our normal. So I kind of like 9. To be honest with you, I kind of like that stripy effect that we've got going. And it makes a lot of our sponsors pop, too. Yeah, I like that. So we'll accept that. I don't know if that's going to cost me any money. It's possible that that I saved money for no reason, but that's all right. You know, it's a learning experience. Let's continue. Yes. Their cars are going to have a little bit newer design for this coming year. But we're a new manager, and we're on a new run, so I figure that's perfectly acceptable. Okay, let's go ahead and continue here. And we're almost to the start of the season. All right, what do we got? All right, new driver signing. New lead designer. Scouting report finish. I'll take a look at them, but... Okay, not a bad driver. Another crash-happy driver. And then pre-season testing this weekend. All right, this weekend I'll be taking our 2017 car out to pre-season testing with a small crew of mechanics. This marks the end of our car design phase. The rest of the teams will be there too, so we can see where we stand in comparison to our rivals on the grid. Here's hoping that the other teams haven't outdeveloped us. We should also watch out for any reliability issues. If we have any problems, they can really knock the driver's confidence. All right. I still can't really do anything here, so hopefully we don't have anything like that happen. So let us continue here. This is going to be the preseason here. And we're finally done with the chassis. So, another scouting report. All right. Another driver that's not too bad. Has some bad stats, though, to mix with some good stats. Mostly this is temporary, though, so mostly two negatives. All right, well, that's fine. Let's come in here. Okay, so preseason testing weekend. All right. Preseason testing is about to begin. This will tell us how we've done over the off season, so fingers crossed that we don't have any major reliability issues. I'm hoping so too. Let's do the preseason testing. All right, here we go. Start testing. So far, not bad. All right, some people are having issues with their cars. Mustafa's car has jumped up, so we're 7th and 9th. All right, I guess that's the end of the run. So we finished 7th and 9th out of 20 cars, which is not bad at all. Interestingly enough, the new race team and our series actually ended all the way in the bottom, but they had some issues with overheating. We apparently didn't have any issues, so we should be good there. And, well, as a matter of fact, they finished top and bottom. So that's interesting. Maybe that's why they got demoted here, is maybe they have one really good car and one really bad car. Although this is more the chassis. I don't know if it has anything to do with the parts. All right, well, let's go ahead and continue. Also, driver skill might have something to do with this. But I am noticing that the top car here, there's quite a gap in times. All right, well, in any case, let's go ahead and continue. So we'll have to see what all is going to happen as a result of that. All right, so let's see what's in our mailbox. So they lead the way in preseason testing. Okay, testing results. Like the driver to beat. Okay, finishing the season in second for the Eastward Motorsport. Okay. Situation is, okay, preseason testing report. Testing went brilliantly this weekend. I'm happy to report that we're in a strong position for the rest of the season. Mustafa was 9th, and Boris was 7th. Our designers and mechanics are now ready to get cracking, improving reliability, and building some new parts. Should be the order of the day. Okay, targets for 2017 season. Okay, hi Mouse. It's the start of the new season, so we need to clarify just how well you think the team is going to do this season. Which sets the payment amount that I give you after each race. I think we have the chance of achieving something decent this season. I predict that we'll come in 5th, which is how we finished last year. That's a good question. Do we take the extra cash and say that we're going to finish in 3rd, which would actually probably be tough to pull off? Or do we take less cash and we say 7th? Now, last year, I took what was predicted. I said we were predicted to come in 8th. I took 8th. I could have gotten away with what was would have been higher with 6 because we actually achieved better than that. And I would have had more money to work with. But I think the safe rule here is just take what's expected and take what cash we're going to get out of that. I don't think it would be a good idea to go down here and say, oh, we'll finish in 7th. I'd like to at least remain where we are. And we should have better cars this year. So I think the right move is to say we'll stay in 5th. All right. Let's take a look at things here. So our car is currently ranked 8th. Driver's 5th. Our headquarters 3rd. And then staff 8th. And sponsors 9th. And our old sponsors? Maybe it hasn't recalculated. All right. Let's take a look at the car. And we may need to fit parts. I don't know where we are here. So let's go through. Oh, last season the parts we built are gone, it looks like. All right, well, that's interesting. I didn't expect that necessarily. Either that or they became the new parts. All right, so right now Boris is unhappy because Mustafa's car is much better than his. And we can remedy that. I almost think that the engines, whatever our best engine was, became the new engine, because it looks like that's almost the case. Because I remember we had one bit of suspension that was significantly better. Now, one thing I'm going to want to do here is I'm going to want to make... And I don't remember how to do this. I would like to make him my actual first driver. It might not matter, but... It might be under where you assign the mechanic, right? Well, we could do that. No, that's not what I want to do, though. What I want to do is I want to move him over there. I mean, again, the positioning might not matter. Huh. Alright, well, I'm not sure how I do that, if it's even something that is worth doing. But let's go and improve these parts. You know, I don't think so. I think maybe it has to just do with the way that we built things. Well, let's fit the parts. Let's fit them in a way that they're not going to be mad at each other. Alright, so there's no really improvement there that we can do. It's just that we have such a big difference here and some of the stats. The biggest, like this more similar thing here is the brakes. Let's see if we can switch this around. So we'll do that. We'll give Boris the better engine. And we'll give him the better gearbox. That makes him content. I bet you if we did this, though, it'd make Mustafa unhappy, yeah. So, we're giving Mustafa the better handling car, but we're giving Boris every other advantage. So, brakes, engine, gearbox, all go in his favor. Okay. Now let's improve parts. So, probably want to start with reliability and start with things that have low reliability. So, we'll start there. And there, and there. So, those are some rather unreliable parts. And do we have anything else? Probably the brakes here are the next most unreliable thing. I'm sure there's something I'm missing, but that looks pretty much good. So, there's our reliability. And now for improvement. Our brakes are lagging behind pretty much everything else. So I think we'll improve brakes first. Although, might be actually a good idea to improve the things that are on this list. So what I'll do is I'll try and get our cars closer together as well. So I'm going to bridge the gap in some of the parts that are further apart from each other. So for instance, the suspension, I'll improve that. And then the other thing I'd like to improve would be, I think, the engine, because that's important for the race upcoming. And we'll just close the gap between our cars a little bit. But it looks like, for sure, stats-wise, we've definitely improved these cars quite a bit by designing that chassis. And then, when our headquarters is finished, which should be any time now, 1 week, we'll be able to start building brakes. I'd like to wait until this gets done before I even think about doing that. And we'll go from there. Alright, so upcoming race. We've got sunny on the practice day, and we've got cloudy during the race day. Well, I think this is going to be a good point to wrap things up. So we went through all the preseason. We have our car. Looks like we've definitely improved there. We have our drivers. Definitely upgraded in the driver department. And we're more or less ready for the race. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner, signing out.